Hello and welcome to tonight's show. This is pretty exciting. This is one of our biggest shows, and it's our second one, but it's one of our biggest shows on Ripple Effects where we've had this many people on at the same time. So I'm pretty excited, and who better else to pull off this kind of thing than Scotland and Cape Breton tonight. So I want to thank everyone. We just got off the boat here at my house, and we were floating around there at the bottom, just staying close to shore. It's a calm day, foggy day in East Coast Canada. We want to know where you're watching from, so please, in the comments to the side, please put up some love and hearts and get ready for our musicians who put in a lot of time into bringing this together. They are from 3 parts of Scotland coming together, including the Shetland Islands. And also, we have a real treat of Cape Breton's own and very finest, Cape Breton's very own Mari Rankin. So she's going to be on tonight. Morgan told me he was going to be on with us, but he was unable to make it. He's going to be joining us next week. So we want to hear from wherever you're watching from. And I am going to bring up the second co-host to this show, which is Peter Wood. He does Tunes in the House for the past couple weeks now. And I'm going to bring him on and everyone else. Here we go. Please, hashtag replay if you watch this later. Please share this in your news feed. We're trying to build the numbers on this. And if you know of any musicians that would like to come on the show, also please feel free to let them know. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.
Hi, folks.
Hello,
hi,
Peter.
How are you? Are you good tonight?
Good. I am good. For some reason, I can't see you. Can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's good. So, okay. Peter, tell us what we have to look forward to this evening.
Well, the show was a real success last week, and it was a kind of experiment in a way that we done it, and we basically sitting in a house having a ceilidh, really, and chatting, letting people know a bit about ourselves as musicians, having a fun, and taking it from there, and some tunes in between it all, and some real quality tunes at that. So we've got Ross McNaughton on from Pitlochry tonight again, and we've got Paul Anderson and Shona Donaldson on, and as you said earlier there, we've got Mari Rankin on as well. And it's fab because I've actually met Mari about 3 years ago in Shetland. She was over at the Shetland Folk Festival. And I think she was over a long time before that, but we'll speak about that later on when we bring Mari on. So we've got loads and loads to get on with. Now, sorry if my hair is still a little bit blue tonight, people. Sorry about that. And my head has gone red. It's Shetland sunburn. Because in Shetland, when the sun shines in Shetland, you must get burnt. It's a duty.
Okay.
Has to be.
So are we ready to bring on the other musicians, Peter?
We can do it. First of all, tonight, we're going to bring on Ross first tonight. And Ross is going to take us away with a set of pipe tunes. So we'll bring him on and ask him to tell us a wee bit about them. That would be super.
Okay, I'm going to disappear off screen and I'll be backstage moderating the show. Thanks everyone for watching, and here we go.
Super. See you later, Rebecca. Bye. Hello, Ross. How are you doing, sir? How are you doing tonight?
Good evening, Peter.
Are you well?
You've got a lovely tan. It must be sunny up in Shetland there, surely.
Well, we're just speaking about it there. It's a duty in Shetland when the sun shines that you must get burnt.
Exactly.
You have to do it. It doesn't happen very often.
We've got a saying in Pitlochry that there's 2 seasons, May and winter.
Exactly. Yeah, and if it's raining, if it's not raining, it's about to.
Right.
Anyway, you're going to crack us off tonight. Brilliant to see you. Have you had a good week this week?
I've had a fine week. Yeah, it's been great weather. It's been good. There's been a lot of chat, actually. There's been a lot of people texting back and forward, getting into this, really liking the format of this show, which is good to see.
Fantastic. I think everybody is. And I'm looking forward to it tonight too, having Mari Rankin on from Cape Breton, because last week when we done it, it was kind of all Scottish, Shetland Scottish. So it's nice to be over the ocean, as it were.
Uh-huh.
So are you going to fire us up a couple of tunes here to get us going tonight? What are you giving us?
Well, I got a new book. I got a new book of music this week, and it's all tunes written by Freeland Barber, who a lot of people will know that name. He's probably better known as an accordiist and one of the one-time members of the Silly Wizard when they first came.
And the Wallachmore Cayley Band and the Occasionals. It was big.
Yeah. And I'm actually very new to his music, to be honest, but I'm looking for as much Perthshire music as I can. When I came across his book, I was blown away by where his music goes. It's not like typical pipe music, if you like. It kind of, like I think I mentioned to Paul last week, I like listening to, like, fiddlers seem to go somewhere else in a tune that you're not expecting. It's not typically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hello,
great. Katie. There's Katie joined us. I'm glad you're excited that we're here. We're excited too, Katie. Please, folk, send in comments, as many comments as you can down the side there. If we can see stuff on the screen, it's our way of interacting with you just now, because as musicians, we're so used to seeing a live audience right in front of us, and we're not getting that opportunity in the world as it is at the present. So send as many messages as you can. And we're now going to have Ross playing us a couple of pipe marches.
Yep, so I'm going to play a couple of 2/4s, both of them penned by Freeland Barber from Perthshire. The first one's called Laxdale Cottage, and the second tune's called Captain Alec Morrison. I've only had to book this, I've not had time to memorise these tunes, so I'm cheating. You can't.
Go with it.
You can't see this.
No, just you just showed them.
I'm going to play them quite slow. I'll play them quite slow.
Right.
And try not to make many mistakes. But they're great tunes, they're lovely. It'd be great to hear more pipe bands play this sort of music, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll get going.
Excellent stuff. Super, Ross. Super. Cracking wee tunes.
Aye, great.
Very strong melody. Something we might talk about later on about how important a strong melody is in a traditional Scottish or traditional tune. It's very much. There are a couple of folk watching there. Elizabeth Mann up in Yell, the island of Yell in Shetland. She's actually my mother and father-in-law's next door neighbour. So hello to Elizabeth. And the other folk that were tuned in there was Dougie and Heidi for Ballinluig. Is that your sister?
Aye, my sister. Uh-huh.
Yeah, she said, could you tell him that he missed out a G grace note in the third measure of the second tune?
She doesn't know what a G grace note is.
Brilliant. Good stuff.
Hello to them.
Okay, folks, what we're going to do now, we're going to bring our old pal Paul on this time. And Paul, this time, has brought somebody else with him. Hi, Paul. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
Paul, who's this Bonnie Quine that you've brought with you?
I know I'm good looking, but I'm being overshadowed by my gorgeous sister. This is my wife, Shona, who was actually going to be on last week, but she wasn't feeling great and was delighted to be able to come on this week. So Shona plays the fiddle, but she's actually in Scotland. She's better known as a singer because she's won a lot of things, including she was the first and only woman as yet to win the Botha Ballad Champion of Champions, which is quite an achievement. But she'll tell you.
We'll speak about that as we go along, won't we? Ross has just given us a smashing wee set of Freeland Barber 2/4s there. Do you fancy giving us a wee tune in the fiddle, Paul, and then we'll get a wee dialogue going, and then we'll see what happens after that. Hello to the folk in the Netherlands. Oh no, come back. It was better with Shona in the picture.
Yeah. That's enough of that stuff. I'll try and make up for that with my playing.
Okay, go on then. What are you giving us?
The first thing I did with Rebecca a week and a half ago, they had the fishery minister on, and fishery and Coast Guard, because obviously fishing's a big deal in Cape Breton. But she was born in Scotland, and her mother still lives in Scotland. So Rebecca got in touch to ask if I would play a slow air. And it was really a reflective piece off the back of the shootings, really, as a kind of memorial to the killings that had been there. So I played it that night. It was a tune called The Lament for King George V. And I thought it's a different audience tonight than folk when I heard this, but it's one of my favourite tunes just now. It's a tune that was written by a man called Donald Riddle, who was a very influential man for Inverness. Donald was a great fan of James Scott Skinner, famous fiddle composer. He was a fiddle maker, a very influential teacher, because he taught folk like Duncan Chisholm, Bruce McGregor, Ian McFarlane were all his pupils, Gregor Borland. So some of Scotland's top fiddlers for the Highlands were pupils of his. So
a few of these fellows played in Blazing Fiddles, of course.
Aye, absolutely. They would have been Celtic colours in Cape Breton.
They're quite well known over there, I think. Yeah,
I would imagine they'll be pretty well kent. But Donald, when he was a young man, he was actually in the Lovat Scouts, which are a kind of legendary regiment. They were, I suppose, they were the forerunner of the commandos in the British Army. They were raised to fight during the Boer War, and they were asked deer stalkers and gamekeepers and shepherds. So they were superb hillcraft and crack shots. So they were a kind of tough bunch of cookies. And Donald was a piper in the Lovat Scouts, and he actually piped at George V's funeral. So his son told me he was inspired to write this. He was out walking his dog, and the tune just came to him. And you get a real feel of the fiddle tradition. You can hear strains of airs by James Scott Skinner. It's very much in his darker style. And then you can hear later on the strains of the Pibroch coming through. So I thought I would start with that. The Lament for George V, and then I'll go into a Skinner Strathspey Reel, the Laird Rumble, and the Left-Handed Fiddler, which are very kind of much in the style for the northeast of Scotland. Okay.
Fantastic. And I mean, as you said, the Lovat Scouts were an amazing historical regiment, and the best I done was the Boy Scouts, but
I never even made the Boy Scouts. I was in the Cub Scouts. Like,
Oh, you're a cub. You were a cub. Right, thanks, Paul. On you go. you very much, Paul.
No bother.
Thank you. Rebecca, if you're there, could you put us back up on the screen? That would be cool. Thank you very much. Wonderful. Thanks, Paul.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, I totally see what you mean about the last bit of that slow air turning into the Pibroch, so you can really hear it again.
I mind the first time I heard it, I instantly found it very, very appealing. It really caught my ear. And it was very, very different from any other ear that I'd heard. And
Yeah.
I find it's got so much to it that you can pour into it as a player. There's a lot of room to put some expression into it. You can
Absolutely.
very often.
How far out of the pipe chanter range is that tune?
Way out.
Yeah.
It goes right. I mean, it goes right down to the open G string. So
Yeah, you'd need to be lying flat on your back to play that one. Ross.
That has been known.
yeah.
Anyway, listen, I'll tell you what.
On the fiddle. Sorry, Peter.
Yeah, that's all right. I was just going to. We'll kind of keep things moving along here, and then because we've Shona is here.
Yeah.
Paul's wife, Shona, and it's lovely. We had no singing last week on this show.
I did
It's
think
lovely.
a wee bit.
And no woman.
No women, that's right. We've balanced it out. We've got it all politically correct this week. That's all right. Shona, wonderful you can join us tonight as well. And it must be tough being stuck in the house with Paul for 10 weeks in a row. Has it been? Has it been quite?
It's been all right. I'm lucky that he's been busy digging a veggie patch in the garden. So he's
no bad. No bad. That's good. Shona, you're going to give us a wee song. What kind of song are you going to sing for us tonight?
I'm going to sing a Botha Ballad for you. So
could you perhaps maybe explain a wee bit about a Botha Ballad? Because there's so many people from all over the world watching here. I'm sure a lot of folk maybe didn't know what a Botha is.
Sure. So folk might have heard of Bothas like up in the hills when you're walking in Scotland, like a wee refuge. But the Bothas really in the northeast were used by the farming communities in the kind of 19th century, and it was where a wee outbuilding where the unmarried male servants would sleep and entertain each other and get up to all sorts of nonsense. And these songs really sprung up out of that. So they're really songs that tell you about the everyday working life and the way of life of these men and women, roughly from about the 1820s to about the 1890s.
Now you won the competition for singing, and you are the only female. Am I correct in saying that's won that?
Yeah. I mean, there's been females in the final before, but I was the first woman to win the Champion of Champions Botha Ballad.
Brilliant. So it's been quite dominated, a male-dominated thing for many, many years then, really.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the majority of the Botha Ballads are written from a male perspective.
Okay, yeah.
Traditionally, it's just been men that have sung them. That's not to say that the women didn't know them at all, because the men would have known them, but maybe just wouldn't have sung them out and about as much as the men.
And tell me, were all these Botha Ballads, were they always polite, or was there rude ones and all that in amongst it as well?
There's loads of rude ones, but they're not suitable.
We better not sing them in the night, though. Maybe keep them for another night.
Oh,
that's a later show. A later show. Ross, you'd like they ones, Ross. Shona, what are you going to sing? What are you going to sing for us tonight?
Well, I'm going to do a Botha Ballad, but it's actually from a female perspective. Okay. So it's a song called The Roving Ploughboy, and it mentions Huntly, which is the town that I was brought up in. So I've always been a wee bit partial to this one. My mum's watching tonight, and she hates this song because I've sung it so much. So I'm going to apologise in advance to my mum for singing it. I'm really sorry, Grace.
I used to like the shortbread though for Huntly. It was good.
Oh, Dean's. You can't beat Dean's shortbread.
Aye, good. Yeah. Take it away. Let us hear this song. That would be brilliant.
This is a wee chorus song. So wherever you are in the world, feel free to join in with the chorus. It's very easy. The chorus is ploughboy oh, I'll follow my roving ploughboy oh. Come saddle to me, my old grey mare. Come saddle to me, my pony, oh.
For I'm on the road and I'm going far away with my roving ploughboy, oh, ploughboy, oh, ploughboy, oh. I'll follow my roving ploughboy, oh. Last night I slept in a fine feather bed, sheets and blankets a cosy, oh. The next time and lie on a cold bottom flare, round in the arms o' my ploughboy, oh, ploughboy, oh, ploughboy, oh. I'll follow my roving ploughboy, oh. What care I for the old laird himsel, and what care I for a cellar, oh, for I'm on the road and I'm going far away with my roving ploughboy, oh, ploughboy, oh, ploughboy, oh. I'll follow my roving ploughboy, oh. Champion ploughboy, my Geordie lad, cups and medals and prizes, oh, and bonny David inside there's none that compares with my jolly roving ploughboy, oh, ploughboy, oh, ploughboy, oh. I'll follow my roving ploughboy, oh. So fare ye well to old Huntly Toon, and fare ye well from Telgie, oh, for I'm on the road and I'm going far away with my roving ploughboy, oh, ploughboy, oh, ploughboy, oh. I'll follow my roving ploughboy, oh, ploughboy, oh, ploughboy, oh. I'll follow my roving ploughboy, oh.
Yay. Lovely. Thank you, Shona. That's what a beautiful voice. Lovely. There was somebody else commented that exactly that there as well, and somebody said what a beautiful melody as well. And we were speaking about that's one thing earlier on that we were speaking about that we're so blessed with in traditional music is strong melodies. And if we get a strong melody to a tune, I think you're 80% of the way there, aren't we? We're doing no bad. I'll tell you, Ken, you guys were going to do fiddles together because you play the fiddle as well.
Yep.
But what I thought we would do now is bring Mary Rankin on because we're half an hour into this show already. And we'll get Mary on and then we can all get involved. And then when you do a wee tune later on, you could do your tune together later on as well. So, hi, Mary. How are you?
How are you?
How are you doing? This is everybody on screen here. We're in Aberdeen, well, near Aberdeen, Tarland, and Pitlochry and Shetland. So lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us.
No problem.
It's so nice to be able to do this over the big ocean. I think if I went out my door and kept going, I would eventually get to you from the Shetland Islands eventually, but it might take a wee while.
I'll put the tea on.
So I hope you're doing well. I suppose you're the same as us this year. There's not a lot going on, maybe playing for a wee while.
Yeah, it's the calendar's looking pretty bare, but we're just hoping that things I hope maybe by November, December, maybe things will start to happen. I think at the same time, it might be the first summer I've ever had off in my entire life. So I'm kind of looking forward to that too.
It's quite strange, isn't it? I know, like last night, normally I'm always playing on a Saturday night or a Friday night. I'm always out somewhere, And
I know.
Last night my viewing was with my wee 6-year-old girl, Grace, who is absolutely crazy about space. So guess what we were watching last night for 3 hours? It was riveting. Just riveting it was. But anyway, you've been over my way before. Mary, you've been over in Shetland and you were out without the track 3 years ago. And did you say you'd been a number of years ago as well? Were you?
Yeah, we were with Beolach. We think we went over in 2001 or 2.
Right.
Yeah, so that was a long time ago. We stayed with Katrina McDonald's mom. And she made the best sticky toffee pudding in the world. One of the highlights. Yeah.
I mean, it's quite funny that Paul's been up to Shetland a number of times as well. Paul's been up playing. And Shona, have you been up yet? Have you been?
I have. When the year that Jenna Reid was in the Young Trad, the Young Traditional Musician of the Year final. I was in the year that year as well, so we went up to Shetland.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Right, brilliant. And we'll get Ross some up there. We'll get him a passport and let him come up someday. Have you been up yet? No.
I was up about maybe 6 years ago, but it was a blues festival.
Oh yeah, Pipers hang out at blues festivals. That's right. Anyway, Mary, back to you, Mary. Would you like to give us a wee tune, and then we could have a bit of chatting or something like that? And then what we're going to do is just bounce it about the table a bit. And but if we could get a tune for you, that would be wonderful.
Great. Yeah, I'll play a selection of tunes. That's how they do it back in Cape Breton. So we'll start with a march that was written by the late John Morris Rankin, and it was the last tune he ever wrote, so it's called The Last March. Then go into Cawdor Fair, a great old Strathspey. I'll have to tie some pipes in there, so I got the Three Peaks of South Uist. It's a great pipe tune, and my mom is from North Uist, so I'm going to try to wrap it all in there. And then the last tune is by Dougie MacDonald, another great Cape Breton fiddle player and composer, and it's called Francis the Miller. So hopefully I'll play all those tunes. Here we go.
Woo! Super player. Super, Mary. Super. Can I just remind everyone out there, please share on Facebook and share. We don't want people to miss amazing music like you've just heard just now. That's absolutely wonderful. Really, really good. I could hear Ross's fingers going with the pipe tunes there at the end. I could just hear him getting into that thing. What's that all about then? So North Uist then. That's where your background's from. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where my mom is from. Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yes,
I remember doing a thing at the university down there once in Benbecula, part of a course, and I got fog bound in Benbecula for 3 days.
Ooh, what was going on there?
and I got hijacked to join the college choir, the Gaelic choir, to sing on a television show because they were very, very short of members. And the only problem with that was that I don't speak Gaelic. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. But I had this huge beard at the time because I was in a thing in Shetland called Up Helliar, which is a Viking festival, and I was out as a Viking. And they done one take and they stopped, and then the cameraman said, "No, let's do that again. Focus in on the big guy with the beard. He looks like a real Highlander. Him, that'll do." Yeah. So I was standing there singing about milking a cow or something like that. And about a fortnight later, I was back in Shetland, travelling over to one of the islands to go teach it. And one of the ferrymen said, "My mother's losing the plot. She said she saw you on the television last night singing a Gaelic choir." I said, "Yeah, I don't know anything about it." Anyway, that was absolutely wonderful. So North Uist is a lovely place. Have you been over a few times?
Oh, yeah. I'm usually... I haven't been over in about a couple of years, but to North Uist, but I'm spend quite a bit of time over in Scotland and England and touring with the outside track there. Yeah.
Yeah, and tell me the dancing with the fiddle playing. How did that come about? Do you think that people, because we don't tend to see that the instruments, like the musician usually plays and people dance, and that's what we see. But in your neck of the woods, the musician dances as well.
Yeah, it's not super popular. I think it's more a part of like a showpiece or a party piece. Like you don't, you'd probably see Ashley doing it and Natalie, and yeah, it is extremely difficult to do because you're trying to do two things at once. I'd rather just play fiddle.
Paul, have you ever tried dancing and playing?
Well, strange as it might seem, I have, and I was. I did a play. It was what anniversary was it? It was 150 years since the birth of James Scott Skinner, and in the town of Banchory where he was born, the community decided to do a community play on his life, except they had no fiddle players that they could call on. So they came along to the local fiddle group, the Banchory Strathspey Real Society, which I was a leader of, and they looked for a volunteer, and I was promptly volunteered by the conductor. So I did that, and I knew that James Scott Skinner, he was a dancing master as well as a fiddler, so
absolutely
he earned quite a lot of his income by teaching the dance, and he was known to demonstrate the steps while playing. So at the time I had a friend who was a world Highland dancing champion. So I got him to teach me how to do the fling, but I tell you something, it's really difficult. I can barely say hello when I'm playing the fiddle.
Paul can't tell you what he's playing in next.
So trying to dance and play, jumping up and down was really difficult. But I could just about crank it out. But
Crank it out. Now, Mary, did you understand all of that?
Oh, bits and words, yeah.
Posh as well.
What we like,
what are you talking about?
Ross can do Highland dancing because he learnt that in the army, and that's one of the things when you're a piper in the army you learn, isn't it?
That's part of the piping school at the start. Yeah, you've got to learn the dancing. But I'd do it for you, but I've got a terrible knee tonight.
Yeah. So's everybody. Mary, have you got any more tunes you would like to share with us tonight at all?
Oh, yeah.
Or any stories or anything? What have you been doing with yourself in this lockdown? Have you been composing? Have you been?
Well, I got a steam mop yesterday, so I've been cleaning.
Yes. We all want one of them.
Yeah, I've been finding it kind of hard to get the inspiration to compose right now. I think I've talked to a lot of our crew and musicians, and it's just we've gone from being, go and every night and all this energy to like being stuck inside. So it has been a bit of a change and a bit of getting used to, and like luckily we can hopefully see the light at the end of the tunnel and get out some more. But playing wise, I've been really lucky. I did a concert with Wendy McIsaac last week, and then I'm going to be doing I'm doing quite a bit of teaching online fiddle, and then tomorrow I'm doing a workshop for the Boston Fiddle Society. And I'll be doing that at 2 or 3 p.m. tomorrow online.
Paul, did you say last week you done one for them a couple of weeks ago? Did you?
I did. Yeah, it was really early when I locked down. They got in touch. I think it was partly because we were conscious of how much work fiddle players were going to be losing, and they felt that there was an appetite for it, and it was a way for them to give something to players, really. So I think it's been a good idea. I probably would have been very resistant to teaching online, but I have to say now that I've done it, it's not perfect. The sound's not great, and you can't play along, because when I'm teaching, I actually play along with my pupils a lot, and you can't do that. But it works surprisingly well, and it really brings the world to your doorstep, I have to say. I've got a girl from America getting a lesson tomorrow night.
Perfect.
Mm. Where does she stay, next door? Or? Mary, what do you fancy giving us a tune? That would be brilliant.
Sure, I'll just do a quick little one. I don't want to take up too much time. I'll do.
No, you're all right. Listen, it's amazing to have you on this show. It's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'll play two of my favorite Jerry Holland tunes. Jerry was one of the best and kindest. Wrote some of my favorite tunes out there, and so the first one's called "Just Cruising," and the second one's it's called "Iggy and Squiggy," and they were it's named after two girls that were always coming to all his dances. So here's "Just Cruising" and "Iggy and Squiggy."
Excellent. Thanks, Manny. Thank you.
No problem.
Well, guys, everybody out there listening, mind send in any comments you want, ask us questions, anything. We're up for it. We'll try our best to answer. Nothing too complicated, because it's late at night here. I think it's about 5 o'clock over with you. Is it 6 o'clock, half 6, something like that? It's nearly half 10. It's going dark out here now. So anyway, but that's absolutely fantastic. Really, thank you so much for coming on the show and having a tune. And if you want to stay about for the next 10 minutes, please do, because we're just going to kind of have a few tunes and a blether. And I was going to get this pair. I've not picked up the box tonight, but I'll probably there's so much music here that it's fine. So, are you there, Mr. Anderson?
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm here. Right? Yeah, no, I was actually, I wanted to ask Mary a question if she's okay with
Magic.
that. I mean, Cape Breton, the music's heavily influenced by Scotland, but it's very distinctive though. You could tell that the styles are different, although they're obviously branches of the same tree. But have you got any sort of strong thoughts on what makes them different? Why it is so distinctive?
Well, I think that the number one reason when you hear a Cape Breton player play, and it's so distinctive, it has to do with the dancing culture. It's entirely, music revolves around it 100%. So it's been the grounding feature for us musicians to always have, like, in the back of your mind that you are playing for a dancer. So over the years, even just what I've seen in the music scene, the speed and tempos of things have just like skyrocketed. But with Cape Breton style, it doesn't fly. Like, you can be the best player, and if you're playing too fast, they'll let you know very quickly in Cape Breton to slow down. You know, playing for a dance is the most nerve-wracking, because you're just like, you're watching all the feet, and you want to get into this kind of train groove, like an amazing momentum that lasts all night long, but so the dancers can dance for 3 or 4 hours. So, you know, if you wear them out playing too fast right off the bat, they're not going to be dancing the whole night. So it's, for us, I think the fact that step dancing locked us into this certain groove that we have, and you can't play a Strasbourg too fast because the dancer will it just doesn't work for them. So I think there's always been this playing for the dancer, regardless if they're there or not. It's kind of just, it's kind of like our inner metronome. So I think that's helped shape that Cape Breton style.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. And I mean, I lead a dance band in Shetland, and fully see what you say. But a lot of dance bands, even in Scotland now, are falling into a trap of going at 500 miles an hour and everything's flying. Yeah. And the actual feeling of the music is lost. There's no movement in the music. It's losing its pulse, and
there's a time and place for it, but it's really it's really interesting to see where that pulse of a tune lies. And sometimes it's really laying it back, sometimes it is pushing it forward. So for, you know, with us, we kind of we have this just kind of like the pulse is right constant on us, so we can't really move it around too much. But I do enjoy experimenting with tempos, and it really with the bands I play in, like the outside track, we push things fast. Viola, we keep things as more trad as possible, like more of a Cape Breton tempo. So yeah, it kind of works for.
I have a neighbour across the Vaud here, and Morris, and he doesn't like people playing too fast at all. He says that all the notes join together, and he describes it as a Haley shower on a tin roof. That's what he calls it when all the notes become just a jumble and they've lost their definition.
Yeah.
But it's great.
Then Ross, with the tempos.
Yeah, I missed the start of that show. No, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the pipe bands are kind of quite well known for being pretty strict on the tempos. How do you feel as a soloist? Do you stick to those tempos that the band would play it? Or?
There's so many piping. I was going to mention that to Paul earlier when he played the Slow Air, the Love It Scout one. That you can get so much dynamics out the fiddle, and there's such a range on the scale compared to piping. So sometimes the speed's one of the few things you've got. But I pipe for Highland dancers quite a lot, and again, sometimes you get so much more out your strathspeys when you do slow them down, and you've got to be very precise with that speed for what they're used to. So pipe bands there's so many quality pipe bands now that it's unbelievable. But I think they're maybe not playing as fast as they used to, but the music that they're playing is so much more technical. Like the musicianship in pipe bands now are just a different level. So I'm not sure. Like some speed's one thing, but I think there's a real
and the Canadians had a huge part in that as well by bringing it on at one point in time. The pipe band scene, it grew from a lot of new innovative ideas came from it.
Highlanders, great.
I shall play you a wee dance tune for Shetland.
Great.
This is a wee Boston two-steppy thing, and we were always taught the same thing: watch the dancers' feet when they're dancing. So here you go. There you go. A little dancey tune. It's a nice little happy tune, that one. Happy tune. It's called the Montfield Two-Step. And Montfield's one of the hospitals where they used to put all the old people. I don't know if that's what it was written about, but that's where I want to end up. Because they had a very nice drinks cabinet they used to push around when I was entertaining the old folk. I thought that looks a pretty good place to be, this. Not bad at all. A view of the sea and a drinks cabinet. What would you? So now you and Paul were going to, we're kind of pushing time here, but you guys were going to play a wee fiddle tune together, weren't you?
Yeah.
Would you do that for us? That would be super.
A couple of tunes. They say very much. This is the Pibrocha Donald Do and the High Road to London. Just good traditional tunes.
That'll do. That sounds good. Excellent.
Once or twice?
Once.
Okay.
3.
Super stuff, guys. Brilliant. Listen, guys, it's been absolutely wonderful tonight. I've really, really enjoyed this. It's been some stunning music. Thank you all for joining us. Mari, thank you especially for coming along and giving up your steam thing that you bought.
Mom Sunday.
Sorry, Shona, what are you?
So you're going to have to send me the details of your steam mop because I'm in the market.
Okay, I'll do a video tomorrow.
Well, there you have it, folks. We have had some good crack tonight again. We've had some tunes. We've had some how to work a steam mop. And really, this show does anything, to be honest. Anyway, but listen, guys, we're going to try and do this every Sunday night. And if you could please email us and give us ideas of things that you would like to see as well, we will try and arrange it, that is for sure. Mari, do you fancy giving us a quick blast tune to take us out tonight?
Okay, I'll play Trip to Windsor, Dan R. McDonald.
Can't beat it.
Great finale tune. So
sounds good to me.
It was so great. It was so great to hear all you guys too. That was a treat.
Anyway, guys, on behalf of Ripple FX and Rebecca's backstage tonight, Rebecca's been mixing stuff and things. Thank you all. Thank you, and have a good week. And mind to put sun cream on if it gets warm, or you'll end up like me, as Paul said. I look a bit like the French flag tonight. Anyway, you take care, folks. Thanks all. Hand it over to Mari to take the show out tonight. Thank you.
All right, here we go.
Woo! Thank you. Well, thanks very much, folks. I hope you've all enjoyed yourselves a wee bit tonight, and it's broke the monotony of another week in lockdown. Hopefully we'll all get there at some point in time and be able to see each other again. There's Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. We can't hear you, Rebecca. Rebecca, we can't hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I did the classic mute myself. Amazing show, you guys. So many viewers, so much love. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Everybody take care.
Nice to meet you, Mari.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys too.
Yeah.
It's great.
Super.
Hopefully we'll see you sometime sooner than later.
See you in Shetland next year.
Would love to. Love to. Okay.
Brilliant. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Cheerio.
Bye.
So next week, next Sunday at 6 o'clock, join us again for Sundays in Scotland. And if you're a player that plays any instruments, Celtic, please reach out and message us. We would love to have you on stage with us. Thanks again, everyone, so much.